will get you down and you're feeling lonely when you can't find your truth or find your center. There are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other, and the scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. When life gets you down, you can't see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together, and the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together. We'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here.
Miahwen, Net Neto, Reverend Jeffrey Ryan. We acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Kawia, Gabrielino Tongva, Kich, and Luiseño peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly upon this land. We recognize our oneness to decolonize our minds and set each other free from pain of racism and violence, to live better as God intended, in harmony with nature and one another. Welcome to Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, and it is my honor and pleasure to serve this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, where we know that love lives here. So I welcome you as you come on in and you're joining us this morning to go ahead and say hello. Put your hi there in the chat. Or in the comments, rather. If you're joining us on Facebook, it's great to have you joining us on Facebook too. Go ahead and use those hashtags #WeAreCSL and #LoveLivesHere. That way we can find it and share it widely. And don't forget, if you are watching us on Facebook, to go ahead and start a watch party and let your friends know where you're spending your Sunday morning right here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. It is the month of March. We are already in the first week of March, and it is very exciting to be here, and we are starting a new theme this month. We have new music this month that we are sharing this month, so it's great and exciting for that as well. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge all of our birthday babies. If you were born in the month of March, go ahead and place your birth date there if you want to in the chat. We know that Jeannie is joining us this morning, and her birthday was March 4th. So yay, happy birthday, Jeannie. It's great to see you. And we know that Seth was born on March 8th, which is tomorrow. So happy birthday to him as well. So good morning. Hey, everybody, come on in. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Donna. Hey, Allison. Good morning. Great to see all of you. So come on in, share where you're from. And if you are having an anniversary this month, go ahead and type that in as well. Congratulations on your anniversaries. Good morning, John. Good morning, Lupe Marie. Wonderful to see you. Good morning to the Stringfellows. Wonderful to see you this morning. All right, so we've got some new music that we're sharing with you. And we're going to kick it off with one big family. Come on in. Good morning to my Enison family. Hello, Enisons. Great to see you. Aloha kakahiaka to Casey and Wayne on the Big Island of Hawaii. And don't forget that Jackie, aka Wayne, aka Doc, his birthday was March 2nd. So happy birthday to Wayne as well. So peace and blessings. Come on in and let's sing together. One big family. Here we go, Jabal.
Hi, everybody. I know you're going to love this song, so sing with us. 2, 3, and everybody get up on your feet. See the light and everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light and everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Let's do it again. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light and everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light and everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we're meant to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, everybody. Happy March. There is a gift. There is a gift. There is a gift in the silence. There is a gift. There is a gift. There is a gift in the silence. There is a gift. There is a gift. There is a gift in the silence.
And so let us come together in consciousness. For truly there is a gift in the silence. As we still our minds, we simply open up and allow, receiving and becoming aware of the oneness that is the allness and the fullness of life itself. And so in this moment, I know that each person gathered here this day gathers in love, gathers in light, gathers in harmony and peace. That this day unfolds under grace and in perfect ways. That we are a blessing and a benediction to everyone around us. That this community pulses with the beat of life, the heartbeat of love, and it expresses and experiences itself in greater ways. As I know that this is true of our community, I know that this is true of each one of us. For it can only be true in our community because it is true in us. We are the heartbeat, the expression of love, of light itself, one with the one. And so I give thanks for this day, knowing it is absolutely perfect. I give thanks for our time together. And we move forward in this celebration and this gathering, in song and in love. And so it is.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up to sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening.
Thank you, Jabel. Once again, good morning, my beloveds. How are you doing this morning? Good morning there, Cindy. Good morning, Earl and Denise. Great to see you. Good morning, Laura. Hey, Alex. Good morning. I see you're there with Ken. Fabulous. Good morning to Tamaro and Chester. Good morning to Constance. She's signed in as well with Bill. Good morning, Susan. And good morning, Elizabeth. Great to see all of you coming in and joining us this morning. Great to have you with us. So we have entered into the month of March, but before we talk about all that, why don't we do our focus statement first, shall we? So let's breathe it in and feel the power behind this focus statement that allows us, that reminds us as Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, what it is that we are about on a daily basis. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Let's say that again together. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Good morning, Beverly. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. It's wonderful to see you. I believe you're back east right now still. So wonderful to have you with us this morning, Beverly. So this year at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, we are working with a theme of timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And the theme for March is open to possibilities. And last month, we talked about the timeless wisdom piece of the timeless wisdom evolutionary vision. We really anchored into that timeless wisdom that is about oneness, that is about love, that is about freedom, that is the spiritual truth, that is the timeless wisdom of the ages, the timeless wisdom that runs through all of the world's major faith traditions and most of the world's faith traditions, period. And this month, then, we are talking about the evolutionary vision. We are talking about visioning. We are talking about the evolutionary vision, which, of course, comes from the timeless wisdom, because the evolutionary vision is an opening up in a new way accessing that timeless wisdom that we already are, the timeless wisdom that we have within us, the timeless wisdom of the ages, opening up to a new way of experiencing it, to the evolutionary way of experiencing that timeless wisdom. And what that timeless wisdom, because it is timeless, then there is no limitation on the wisdom itself. So it continues to unfold, it continues to reveal itself, it continues to evolve through and as us and through and as all of creation. So today we are focused on the topic of living in the question. Living in the question is what we are going to explore today from a visioning perspective. We'll talk about visioning here in a second. Actually, we're going to talk about it now. As you may know, I am the chair of the CSL visioning team. And so this is a subject that I am super duper uber over the top passionate about. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because visioning as a spiritual practice, it's one of our spiritual practices, visioning as a spiritual practice is life transforming. It is a transformational practice. It is changed my life immensely. It has changed Ed's life immensely, and it's changed your life immensely as well, I'll have you know. And even though you may not have ever participated in visioning, it's changed your life. How has it changed your life? It's changed your life because, back in 2009, as I heard the call to ministry, and as I was sitting in visioning one day, this very clear vision came, this very clear image came of me standing on a platform with windows behind me and lush green trees outside those windows. And Oliver obviously has something to say about that as well. He's excited about it too. So with lush green trees out the window, and part of the vision, I heard Ricky Byers' song, Use Me, the song Use Me. And this was back in 2009. But I had this real sense of standing on this platform with these windows and this tree and this beautiful music and looking out into a community that was richly diverse, highly inclusive, that was very active in the community, the larger community that they belonged to. And this was all very, very clear back in 2009. And the feeling that I had was feeling of joy, feeling of elation, and feeling of being home. It felt so home. It felt so right to me. This was the vision. This was the high idea, Spirit's highest idea of myself in ministry. And then you fast forward to 2017, the last Sunday in October, and I was invited to speak at a center in Southern California. And I walked through the doors of the sanctuary, and lo and behold, there before me was a big window with gorgeous trees right outside of it. And the children's choir was practicing their song for the day. It was Use Me by Ricky Byers. And I knew in that moment that I was home. That center is our center, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. And March 1st, this past March 1st, marks 3 years that I have been in this community as senior minister. Granted, I started as consulting, but in this role, I am living the vision that I saw in 2009. And how am I doing that? I'm doing that by living in the question, by opening up to Spirit's highest idea, not the highest idea that Jeffrey had for his ministry, but Spirit's highest idea of ministry. So visioning not only changed my life, but it changed yours as well. When I came to Riverside, when you invited me into this beloved community to help lead this community. So I am forever grateful to each and every one of you for the love that you have rained down on me and rained down on Ed since that first Sunday back in October 2017 when we walked through the doors. How else has visioning changed my life? Well, Ed and I would not be together without visioning. Ed and I were in a class back in 2010, I believe, and we were randomly chosen to be vision partners. And that's where he and I really developed a much closer relationship. Our friendship really took root in that because we weekly would vision together, vision for each other's lives, and vision for the center. So both of us are richly steeped in this practice. We visioned when it came time to get married. We visioned for the wedding, but we've also visioned for our marriage. And we continue to vision for our marriage. Visioning is still one of the key practices that Ed and I practice together on a regular basis. Visioning changes lives. It changes lives. So really, what is visioning? What is visioning? Visioning is opening up to Spirit's highest idea of itself as you, as your life, or in this case, as a community. Visioning is, we recognize that each one of us is the divine made manifest. We recognize that each one of us is an individualized expression of the divine. We recognize that there's only one mind, and that our mind has access to the one mind because it is inseparable from the one mind. However, we sometimes have this tendency to think of our individual mind as being the sole creator, right? As being the one like, I manifested this, I manifested a car, I demonstrated a house, I manifested a relationship, I, and that we sometimes will have a tendency to identify with the I, the small I, this I, the I that's Jeffrey, or the I that's anybody else, right? We have a tendency to identify with this individualized I, thinking that we know everything, or thinking that we create or that we make everything. And it is true, but it's not true to the level or to the degree that we want to think it is. I mean, I don't like how that came out. It is true. And there's a greater truth. That's the better way of saying that. The greater truth is that there's the I, the 13 italic font slanted I, that is the I that I am. It is the I that is also that we know to be the divine. And it is that I that is infinite, eternal, expansive, and it is that I that we are in one with, that we are one, that individualizes itself. So rather than thinking that I, Jeffrey, know what's best, I turn within and I listen. I turn within and I live in the question, what does the I, the big, huge italicized I, what does I, the divine, what is that highest idea rather than the little I's highest idea? What is the big I's highest idea for my life? Because me being informed, me being individualized means there's already a certain amount of limitation. Right? There's my physical body, so there's just a certain amount of limitation. Whereas the big I is all-encompassing. It is the entire universe. It is beyond that. It is all that there is. So why would the little I think that the little I has all of that information. The little I doesn't have all that information. The little I has access to all that information. Think of it as like going to a library, perhaps, right? You might have some books on your shelves at home, but if you go to the library, you have access to so much more. If you only stick with the book that you have in your home, the ones, maybe it's one book or maybe it's a bookshelf that you have at home, the knowledge is very limited. But if you go to the library, it's more expansive. And heavens, if you go to the internet, it's even more expansive than that. Well, what's more expansive than the internet is right within. It is the capital I, it is the divine, it is the one, infinite and eternal, forever expressing itself. So envisioning, in living in the question, we go to the I, the capital I, we go to the divine, we ask Spirit, what is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my life? Or what is Spirit's highest idea of itself as this project? What is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my relationship? What is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my career or as my job? What is Spirit's highest idea for our center? What is Spirit's highest idea for our city? What is Spirit's highest idea for our country? What is Spirit's highest idea for the world? And we sit in the silence that we were just singing about. We sit in the silence and we listen. Listen, listen, listen. And allow images, words, or phrases, or even more silence to come up. Trusting and knowing that living in the question of what is Spirit's highest idea, that it will be answered. It will be answered as we listen quietly. Good morning, Aunt Nancy. It's so good to see you joining us from Texas. Thank you. Good morning. It's an opening. It's an opening. We have another spiritual practice that we use. There's this visioning practice, this quiet visioning practice where we're communing with the divine because we understand that the divine is that we have access. We have access to the direct revelation of the divine. We are not dependent on somebody intervening and being an intercessory or something being intercessory with the divine because we know that the divine lives within each one of us. The Christ consciousness lives within each one of us. The Buddha consciousness lives within each one of us because that is the truth of our being. That is the truth of our very nature. I and my Father are one. That's the truth of our very nature. So we're tapping into that consciousness to receive the high idea of Spirit for our lives. And we have another spiritual practice that we use too sometimes, and that is the practice of visualization. Visualization is picturing something in your mind and seeing it so clearly and outlining perhaps and seeing it so clearly and rehearsing it perhaps, seeing it so clearly that we become a vibrational match to it, that we are trying to draw it to us. We're trying to draw that which we wish to experience to us. And this is a very powerful spiritual practice. It is something that we can definitely use to improve our lives. But that sense of visualization will only take us so far because visualization is using our individualized mind, it's using our individualized consciousness to draw to us something that we already have awareness of, to draw to us that which we already understand or know to be true. And so we can visualize a new house, we can visualize a new car, we can visualize a new relationship, we can visualize more money in our bank account. We can visualize all of those things. But keep in mind that we're only seeing as far as our conscious awareness allows us to see when we are visualizing. When we are visioning, however, we are opening up to that which is more expansive beyond what we already have knowledge of, but beyond what we already have conscious knowledge of. And opening up to a higher idea, to a more expansive idea, to God's idea, to the divine's idea. That's what we're opening up to. That's what we are then receiving. And that is far beyond, that far exceeds anything that our conscious minds could conceive of. Far beyond. So when I think about, coming to Riverside, that was something that was far beyond what Jeffrey in 2009 was thinking ministry might look like. Jeffrey in 2009 really was seeing a very traditional church model, was really seeing in 2009 a A-frame structure reminiscent of church in his childhood. Jeffrey was not seeing what we now have here at Riverside CSL. Jeffrey was not, that Jeffrey, the small Jeffrey, was not seeing something even greater and beyond until I sat in silence and allowed Spirit to reveal it to me and Spirit to reveal it through me. So visioning itself is a transformative process, but it's a transformative process not only for each individual person, but it's a transformative process for the community, it's a transformative process for the collective. We don't do this on our own. Visioning is about personal transformation, but it is also about collective transformation. We do this so that we embolden people to live their highest potential. We do this spiritual practice in order for us to avail ourselves to live our highest potential, which is living in right relationship, which is living in conscious union with the one, so that when we move into our lives, when we move out into the world, we are bringing that God presence, we are bringing that Christ presence, we are bringing that Buddha presence with us wherever we go. We are bringing that high consciousness with us wherever we go. And then lives, consequently, are transformed from there. And as we share who we are, as we be who we are, people come to know us. People come to know us as the presence of love, as the presence of light, as the presence of peace, as the presence of wholeness. And in so doing, lives are transformed. We touch lives, my beloveds. We touch lives in ways that we cannot even begin to imagine. And it begins by living in the question. It begins with opening up and allowing and being present. As Oliver continues to play with his toys on the ground, being fully present with the divine that he is. After all, dog is God spelled backwards, right? So this week, my friends, this week, my beloveds, what I invite you to do is I invite you to find just a few minutes each day. It doesn't take long, just a few minutes each day. Just a few minutes each day. And sit in the silence and simply ask, what is Spirit's highest idea as my life? What is Spirit's highest idea as my life? And then listen and allow and be present for the answers that come. Don't worry if you don't get answers right away. Don't worry if you don't see a tree behind you and windows behind you and kids singing "Use Me." Don't worry about that. Just be open and available. Because even if you get what you think is nothing, even if you get silence, you are priming the pump. You are establishing that relationship. You are deepening that relationship that you already are, that you already have. And you are making yourselves available to the divine wisdom, for the divine wisdom to flow through you, to be ever available to you, to be more available consciously to you. Don't judge what comes. Don't try and figure it out. Don't go running to your animal spirit guidebook and figure out that, what a hummingbird might mean, or, your flower book and say, oh, the rose means this and the peony means that, right? Don't go run in and try and figure out the symbology. Just simply allow. Allow the answers. Allow the wisdom to come. And the more you practice, the more you're present with the question and living in the question, the more that will be revealed and the clearer it will be. And so let's come together in consciousness now, shall we? Recognizing right here and right now that there just is one infinite, eternal, one power, one presence, one love. It is the allness, the fullness, the isness that is all of creation, that lives, moves, breathes, and has its being in, through, and as all, and all in, through, and as it. This one we call God, we call love, we call peace, we call wisdom, we call harmony. The Creator and creation itself. And so I recognize that I am one with the one, that the I am is the very who of who I am, is the very essence of my being. That I am inseparable from the one itself. That right where I am, God is. That right where each one is, God is. For we know that God is all that there is. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of everyone present here this day, joining us this day. Recognizing each one is the divine emanation and impartation, the divine manifestation, the demonstration of the one life itself. Each one is the embodiment of the one. And so I speak my word here and now with complete dominion for this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. Recognizing that a high idea, a divine idea, is working its way through the consciousness of each person in this community and working through our collective consciousness, bringing forth a high good, bringing forth a beautiful, beneficial presence to the world, to our community of Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, to our community of Riverside, California, and to the world itself. That we are not encumbered by time or space. We recognize that it is a construct that we may use to express and to live and to share. But we are not limited or bound by it, for we are limitless, boundless beings of love. And so it is this love that we share with one another. It is this love that calls unto love, and it is love that answers. It is deep that calls unto deep, and deep answers. And so we avail ourselves of the one mind. We avail ourselves of the consciousness of the ground of all being. Opening our hearts, opening our minds, opening our souls to the impress of spirit. We allow ourselves to be used. For we are the transparencies, the vessels, the vehicles, the hands of spirit, the hands of God present on earth. On this plane of existence. And so I know that the work that we do is good. I know the work that we do, that it is not us, but it is that spirit within us that performs the work for us, through us, and as us. We are the presence of love, the presence of light, the presence of love. And so I give thanks for this realization. I give thanks that each one of us is willing to live in the question, saying yes to spirit on a daily basis, minute by minute, simply saying yes and allowing. And so I release this word now into the law, knowing that it is complete, knowing that it is done. I simply let it be, and together we affirm, and so it is.
It's like the air around me It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. And I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. And it is health to my body, it is strength to my mind, it is joy to my soul. And I breathe out my simple prayer, thank you. And my breath becomes a song that's singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. And I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. And it is health to my body, it is strength to my mind, it is joy, it is joy, it is joy, joy to my soul. And I breathe out my simple prayer, thank you. And every breath comes a song that was singing all along, that was singing, singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air, nearer than the air, nearer than the air, nearer than the air.
Thank you, Jabel. I love that song. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, my beloveds, I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued conscious contributions to Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. It is such an honor to be able to serve this beloved community for 3 years, that we continue to thrive, we continue to grow, and we do that because of you. And we do that because of your conscious contributions. So the easiest way to contribute is to use your phone and text to give. Simply text to give at 951-419-5858. Put in the amount that you're choosing to contribute and then hit send. It's just that easy. It's just like texting a friend. Another way that it's easy to contribute is to go to our website, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the word contribute. Click on contribute, and you can do it that way. Or if you choose to send a check, that works too. And you can just email that to the center. Again, don't forget that we are still we still do have expenses at the center. And so one of the ways that you can contribute to offsetting those expenses in terms of the building and grounds expenses is what I'm talking about, because we still have to maintain our building so that we can eventually get back there, hopefully soon. The easiest way to do that is, again, text to give or contribute on the website. Same exact ways, except with the text to give, you add the word more after the dollar amount you're choosing to contribute. So thank you again for all of your conscious contributions. We certainly appreciate it, and we are stronger because of you. So we have, again, new music. So this one is called That Good Thing. So Jubel, let's sing about that good thing.
Fun. Please sing along. 1, 2. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Because you reap what you sow, need what you know, see what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. Because you reap what you know, meet what you know, see what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Yeah, you've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to give a little bit of that good thing if you want to believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive.
Thank you. A fun one. I love it. So letting everybody know now, don't forget, next week, Saturday, we spring forward 1 hour. So we spring forward next week, Saturday night. Technically, it's Sunday morning at 2 a.m., but whatever. Set your clocks before you go to bed on Saturday so that you're not late to our online gathering, because our online gathering time is still 10 a.m., but don't forget, 10 a.m. will actually be an hour earlier next week. So make sure that you spring forward so that you're not late. So do that. Take care of that. Mark your calendars for that. The next thing we have is our 79th annual membership meeting will be held on Sunday, March 28th at 11:30 via Zoom. All members of record, active members of record, will be sent a link prior to the meeting for you to join us on Zoom. The meeting will be recorded. Voting will take place via the polling platform on Zoom. And so there's that. Then visioning class. That's right. My visioning class starts on the 20th. I'm facilitating the CSL online education visioning class. So today you got a little taste of visioning, but this is a 6-week class that I am facilitating on Saturday morning, starting March 20th, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. our time. I know some of our beloveds in our community are already signed up for this class, and it is exciting to see about 4 or 5 of you signed up for this class so far from our community, as well as communities around the world. That's what's so exciting about this class, that you'll get to meet folks from around the world as well. So join us for that. If you are involved in spirit groups, and I hope that you are involved in spirit groups, if you are involved in spirit groups, and even if you're not involved in spirit groups, join us for Sunday, March 21st in the afternoon for our spirit groups celebration. So join us for that on March 21st in the afternoon, immediately following service. Then we have, the Animal Grief Support Service will be happening on this coming Saturday, March 13th at 2 p.m. So go ahead and join Jeannie for that, and go ahead and send her pictures for the slideshow as well. So this is a beautiful opportunity of our animal ministry and supporting you in the loss of your companion animals, your pets, your four-leggeds, your two-leggeds, your finned, who may have passed or transitioned. And it doesn't have to be recent. It could be longer than that as well. It could be, years ago that this has happened, but it's just a way to remember our beloveds who walk the planet with us. So with that, I would like to bring in Jeannie and Mike. Jeannie is our animal chaplain, and Jeannie and Mike head our Green Faith Spirit Group, and they have some information to share with you about that. So come on in, Jeannie and Mike. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Rev Jeff, for this opportunity to highlight what we feel is an important global event taking place this Thursday, March 11th. It's the Sacred People, Sacred Earth Day of Action. Now, this grassroots faith-based call for climate justice is organized by Green Faith International. It's the Green Faith International Network, and we are today representing RCSL's Green Faith Spirit Group, which serves as a local affiliate of the international organization.
Because the earth and all peoples on it are sacred and at risk, founding partners from 14 countries have formed Green Faith International Network, a multi-faith global network. A key component of this week's worldwide event is a diversity of spiritual traditions calling attention to Green Faith International's 10 vital demands for environmental and social justice. Our spirit group has already shared these demands with our local, state, and national elected officials and would like to share them with you today. We believe these demands are consistent with CSL's vision of a world that works for everyone and all of creation.
For demand number 1, 100% renewable energy for all.
Sustainable, affordable power for everyone, especially the 800 million people worldwide without access to electricity.
Number 2, global finance aligned with compassionate values.
There must be increased financing in COVID recovery and beyond for renewable energy and sustainable food systems.
Number 3, jobs and healthcare for all.
There needs to be a just transition for workers, migrants, and communities impacted by climate change and the energy transition through healthcare, job training and placement, and other necessary support.
Demand number 4, respect Indigenous rights.
We must develop a strong defense for the legal rights of Indigenous communities and other environmental protectors.
Number 5, welcome for migrants.
We must provide generous hospitality and opportunities for climate and environmental refugees to migrate and establish new homes.
Number 6, no more climate pollution.
We want net zero greenhouse gas emissions in wealthy countries by 2030, and accelerated finance and technology transfers for global net zero before 2050.
Number 7, end the planet's desecration.
We are demanding no new fossil fuel exploration or infrastructure, industrial agriculture, or deforestation. No more habitat or biodiversity loss.
Number 8, eliminate immoral finance.
There must be no further financing of COVID bailouts for all fossil fuels, industrial agriculture, or deforestation.
Number 9, climate reparations from wealthy countries.
We expect to see leadership by wealthy countries in climate financing and technology transfer in recognition of these countries' colonialist and environmental debt.
And the number 10, vital demand, bold faith community leadership.
We want sustained, united action guided by the teachings of our diverse religions, ushering in an equitable, peaceful life for all.
So we invite you to take part in this day of action by contacting your elected officials and encouraging them to consider the 10 vital demands as public policy. This list will be included in the next Connect email, or you can go to greenfaith.org and it's right there. So this Thursday, the 11th, our Green Faith Spirit Group will be doing our part for the environment by picking up trash at Fairmont Park. We're meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the tennis courts just across the street down from our center, and you all are welcome to join us. We have a few trash picker-uppers devices that will be available, and gloves and bags and all that stuff. So please, if you're not busy on Thursday, come out and have some fun picking up trash. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it. Come have fun picking up trash. It's good. It's good fun. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie and Mike. Appreciate it. So, all right, my beloveds, we are getting ready to move over onto Zoom. If you want to join us for Beyond the Message conversation, then join us on Zoom at 249-395-737 is the Zoom ID, and the passcode there is 92501. So we welcome you to join us on Zoom right after we close here. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. And I receive it because love lives here. Peace. I love you. Peace and blessings. See you next week, if not before. All right. See you maybe in a few minutes on Zoom. Love you.
Hi, everybody. This is a new song. Sing along with us. 1, 2. I will stand for love. I will stand for love. 'Cause I know I can be strong for love. Yes, I know I can be strong for love. Let's do it again. I will stand for love. I will stand for love. 'Cause I know I can be strong for love. Yes, I know I can be strong for love. I will stand for peace. I will stand for peace. 'Cause I know I can be strong for peace. Yes, I know I can be strong for peace. I will stand for love. Yes, I will. I will stand for love. 'Cause I know I can be strong for love. Yes, I know I can be strong for love. Have a great week, everybody. Love you all. Thanks, Matt.